Hello! We're going to make reeds great again. How are we all doing? Ah, it's still me. I had that something. I've got an idea. Oh, I can see again. That's not particularly the nicest kind of way to see you all. But I'm going to show you a little bit more of that. I've got a follow-up for Santa Plays Sax involving Donald and Bill. I just kind of need to get myself organized and get it around. Anyway, welcome to today's live vlog. Welcome to our Thanksgiving vlog. Thank you for tuning in wherever you are. Make sure you tell us where you are tuning in from, where you are in the world. Come and say hello. We will give a shout out. I don't know why I'm saying this in the third person. This guy doesn't really exist. It's a mask. Obviously, you know what I mean. Anyway, I will be giving shout outs to everyone who says hello, everyone where I can do. Today, I've got plenty to talk about. I'm still not sure if I'm going to be putting this on live back onto the website, onto the YouTube. I probably will do, but I don't like doing live vlogs too often because I end up stumbling over my words as I am doing now. But happy Thanksgiving to those of you who are watching from the United States, and those of you who've got family all over the place. You are especially welcome today as you celebrate your holiday. I wanted to talk first of all about being thankful, and one of the things that I have done over the last year is got hold of this 5-minute journal, and it's a really good idea, because what you do at the start of it, I'm trying to find you a page that hasn't already been taken, is you list 3 things every morning that you're grateful for, and then you follow it up with 3 things that would make today great again. Where'd that come from? Would make today great. So a daily affirmation. And then at the end of the day, it's a chance to reflect on your 3 amazing things that happened today and how could I have made today better. Now, one of the things that I've noticed when I'm flying through this book is it makes me think, especially first thing in the morning, because I'm not really a morning person. I'll start to sort of think about, you know, kind of be thankful for the nice weather, or even sometimes if it's rain. You remember, if you watch some of those vlogs in the summer, one of my students said to me once, Dan, what if it never rains again in Britain? And then basically the next afternoon, it absolutely sheeted it down with thunderstorms. But you know, it really does help me, and has helped clarify my mind as to what I need to be thankful for. And it just sets you in that positive frame of mind. As I say, I'm not a morning person. To get out of bed and to be thinking positively about the day that's ahead has really helped me, helps mental health, helps just a positive outlook on the day. So hello to Scarlett, hello Mark, nice to hear you both. The rest of you who are watching, come and say hello as well. I know where Mark is. Scarlett, where are you in the world? Let us know where you are in the world. Hi Tina. Looking forward to hopefully you're going to be at the gig tomorrow. I think you said you're coming along. Let us know where you are in the world and where you're tuning in from. So I was talking about that notepad, and I'm really thankful for that. Obviously, I'm very thankful for my family. I'm very fortunate to have, you know, a family that I've got here. I've got the family that I've got back at home in Blackpool. It's weird how I still call that home. I haven't lived there now for 17-18 years. In a few years' time, I'm going to have lived, I'm looking at laptop, there you go. I'm going to have lived further, I'm going to have lived longer away from there than I ever did there in Fleetwood growing up, but it's still going to be home for me. So definitely grateful for family, and I'm grateful for my YouTube family. I'm grateful for every single one of you who subscribes to this channel, or even if you're just watching this and you haven't subscribed yet. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing, because it does make a huge difference to me, and it also makes a huge difference to you, because it means that you get to find out the new videos that I make and the new content that comes out. I had 3,000 subscribers last year, this time last year, now over 7,000, and that's thanks to you guys for spreading the word, for subscribing yourselves. So thank you very much for that. I'm very thankful for that. I'm thankful for the musicians that I work with. I'm thankful for the musicians I'm going to be working tomorrow night in Birmingham with. They're doing the Celebrating Blue Note. I've got Rob Brockway, who's playing piano. Rob played for us and actually decked for me back in August, and he's doing our second gig, doing the second gig with us. Got Paul Higgs on trumpet, myself, and then Joel and Derek. And I'm very grateful for Joel and Derek. I'm very fortunate to be able to play with 2 amazing musicians, both in a trio, and then we augment that as a quartet, and then sometimes as a quintet, like we're doing tomorrow night. And I'm pleased to say that we're got a number of dates that I've just put on the website for 2019, where we're doing this 1959, a year that changed jazz. We've got Tony Kofi added onto that as well. So really, really fantastic. Lots and lots of gigs coming up. I'm really thankful for the audiences that come out and watch the gigs. One of the comments I get frequently at gigs is, I don't really like jazz, or we don't normally like jazz, or I didn't think I liked jazz, but I really like what you did tonight. Hopefully we're still playing jazz. I'm pretty confident that we are. And I really, really appreciate that comment. I'm really thankful for that comment. Don, welcome to you as well. Hi to you. Where are you from, Don? I know I posted, you won the Chris Potter DVD. But let us know where you're all from, and it's great to see you. So that's thankful. Let us know on the chat. Let me know what you're thankful for. Put that in the chat comment now. It'd be nice to give a shout out for some of your thank yous. I'm not thank you that I've left the bin full down there. Apologies. I spent most of today organising the music for tomorrow night. We had it all in pads. For some reason, the pads have all gone missing, and so I basically had to put it all together. Don's in knots, of course, Don. I remember now. So great to see you. How are you getting on with the Chris Potter DVD, Don? Have you learned it all yet? Applied it all? Are you playing like Chris Potter? That's what we all want to know. Speaking of DVDs and technology, which kind of nice seamless link there. I was just having a lesson teaching a 17-year-old on Skype, and she says, I've no idea how to use a CD. And I kind of felt very, very old at that moment, that she's basically not used CD. And it led me on to something that I was speaking about with, I think a couple, maybe 3 or 4 vlogs ago, when I was talking about an upcoming album. And I think I've definitely made the decision that I won't make a CD of it. I will, I still play like me. Nice one. So one of the things we do is we're looking at moving and doing the album kind of through, probably onto CD, onto an album. Oh, look, we've got our first troll on the chat. There we go. Isn't it all fun? Some of you will obviously get to see that most of the time we tend to get rid of it. So yeah, so definitely with the upcoming album, keep an eye out. There'll be a Kickstarter project probably coming out soon for it. And one of the things I want to do on the Kickstarter is offer you guys the chance to come and sit in on the recording session. Not playing, but kind of be able to view the recording session if you're one of our gold Kickstarter backers. So that should be pretty good. Yamaha blindfold test. I am going to be at the new sax.co.uk shop on Monday next week. I'll be taking the camera around. I've got a coffee with Dan booked with some great guy, Richard, who I'm going to be interviewing for that. I might see if I can pop the Yamaha actually with me, see if they've got a lacquered version, and we'll see if we can pair off the unlacquered versus the lacquered on that particular saxophone. The difficulty I always have, and the reason why I like doing reviews in here in the studio, is I've got a controlled environment where we can play test things with the microphones and everything else like that. Hi Terry, nice to see you. That's all on that. So that's covering Thanksgiving. You still not told me what you guys are thankful for. Let me tell me on the chat what you're thankful for. That'd be a really, really good idea. The next thing I was going to talk was Black Friday, and that happens tomorrow. Obviously, it's more of an American thing that somehow we seem to have adopted in this country. But I know that sax.co.uk are doing a Black Friday sale. I only mentioned them. It's not a sponsored thing. They just sent me an email today and I noticed it. So if you're not on that emailing list, I don't know whether you'll be able to get the codes. If you are, it's worthwhile to save 10% on your accessories, 5% on a saxophone. If you want to buy a new saxophone today, I think you'd have to buy a black and gold saxophone if it's Black Friday though, don't you think? So they are doing some accessories. Speaking of which, another seamless link into what I really wanted to talk about today, which was kind of some Black Friday offers, some ideas for Christmas. Now, I'm going to do a full second video because I did a video a number of years ago when I just started YouTubing about buying a saxophone for Christmas. And I think it's about time we had an update to that. But I thought some of you might be drawing up your lists to Santa, or more like I do, your Amazon lists to family, and you might be thinking about things to get. So I'd certainly say, and again, not a sponsored link, this is just something that I swear by now with my neck, is basically getting hold of a Kabula strap. I think they're a very, very, very fine idea. You're not having to work with, kind of, I always find that the Neotech straps are a little bit, they cause me a lot of problems. So I've got to say, Kabula straps, go to their website, just Google it. And one of the things you notice when you get this is that you end up with a neck strap that often is a lot shorter than you think you should have. That's kind of something that kind of moves along from that. So definitely the Kabula straps. This book is fantastic. A fantastic book, Devil's Horn. If you haven't already read this yet, I strongly advise you to get hold of it or stick it on the Christmas list. And then this one, this is the daddy book, as it were. This is the book I would suggest that everybody needs to get hold of. I'm still working through it. There's some great ideas. I don't quite know what's happened to Dave's face on the cover. Obviously something was left on top, but yeah, there we go on that. And then play Trinkle Trinkle. Tomorrow night, come to the gig. It'll be on. Can't play past 9 o'clock at home. Kids are in bed. So books and CDs and more for the saxophone. This little list that we've done here. So if you've got, I'll try and list these later, but basically I've mentioned those Dave Lieberman books. There's Gary Campbell's Triad Pairs for Jazz, which I've spoken about before. The Rasher, the Top Tones, but for saxophone. I've got this written on this list. I did this list a few years ago for students. The Joe Viola books are very, very good. The Technique for Saxophone, the green books, I've got them back in the bookshelf there. I don't tend to spend an awful lot of time looking at them, which is maybe why I've not spoken about them before, but they are excellent books to practice from and excellent books to learn from. Likewise, Barry Finity's The Serious Jazz Practice Book and Sue Terry Practice Like the Pros. In terms of study books I haven't really mentioned before, there's two really good books. There's a book by Dennis Taylor, and that's not the snooker player if you're from the UK. It's blues saxophone and jazz saxophone, and he basically goes through they're essentially transcriptions that he's played along to and kind of put that together, playing, you know, kind of everything from Lester Young, Stan Getz, Coltrane, Hank Mobley, and then all these blues players as well. So there's some really, really good stuff there. Again, I'll try and list all these. If not here, they're definitely on Cambridge Saxophone already. As I've said in a vlog from a long time ago, the Apollo Saxophone Quartet series music, some of the stuff by Bob Butland and Andy Shepherd, and yeah, really, really good to look through. Greg Fishman's books are very, very good to get hold of as well. I use those a lot, as are Bob Mintzer's books. They're really, really good to look at. There's lots and lots of stuff there. And if you haven't, and I haven't found it yet, out of the bookshelf, Stephen Howard's Haynes Saxophone Manual is also a really, really, really good idea. Finally on there, I said DVDs, but after what I've said about CDs, it feels like a little bit out of date. Certainly if you've never watched it before, the Clint Eastwood, Charlie Parker film, Bird, and I can never pronounce this right, Bertrand Taverner. The lead actor in that film is Dexter Gordon. It's called Round Midnight. And Spike Lee's Mo Better Blues. And then shed loads of recordings on the back there. Our OMI pieces. Can you do a live log in the day so we can ask? You can ask some saxophone questions. I'm just not able to play, and this was the time that everyone voted for. So we've got a few. It is daytime. Yes. Okay. We're in Cambridge. I don't play Minecraft now. So questions, Q&A, very, very quick. Let's hear them. Anybody? Very, very quickly, because I want to sum this up in a minute. What are people asking for Christmas for anyway? What would people like for Christmas? Let's have a quick look. Anybody else? Anybody? I'm going to just have to find something. How do I mix? Okay. Is your favorite song? I've only got one. How do you mix? Okay. If I mix, I use Logic, as I've said again in previous vlogs. What I tend to do, again, this is probably something that we need to look at in an actual lesson when I'm on there. But one of the key things I tend to do when I'm mixing the saxophone is EQ. Look around these between about 730 to 800. You try and trim down on the tenor. On the alto, it tends to be a little bit higher. You just want to trim it down a little bit. Then use there's actually Bob Reynolds' ideas. These are fantastic, and also chatting to Rob Hunter, who did my Jazz Vespers album. So basically cutting EQ rather than boosting all the bits. So you're basically working down. I try and work on cutting, using the blue plate reverb setting in Logic through the Space Designer, and using that as a bus out rather than sticking it in line in the channel. So you always bus it out and then move it, you know, use the gain up as you see fit to have it. And then I use the Ozone plugin for iZotope to try and clean things up. A lot of the time now, I'm not, when I'm in here, I'm kind of sending recordings in completely dry, or I'm kind of just doing bits and bobs for the vlog. Mike says, morning all. Morning, Mike. I hope the weather is good for you over in the Far East. Was someone who's saying, what's your favourite song? Favorite jazz songs? Well, so many, but if you were to put me in a room and say, what, you know, you had to play 3, Blue Train by Coltrane, Doxy, Sonny Rollins, and probably then St. Thomas by Sonny Rollins, given the amount of times we play it. But it's just so vast and it changes depending on where we go. I'm really digging Blue Bossa at the moment as well. I just think that's a really underrated song. What are your thoughts on the thin, thick tip rails on Mouthpiece? That's one, Mike, you guessed it already. I don't know, St. Thomas, it's one of those songs that I like improvising over, as do lots of jazzers, because there's so much there. There's so much juice to play over it. But the audiences really like it. So talking about, let's go back to Simon Kaler's comment. What are your thoughts on thin, thick tip rails on mouthpieces? I prefer thin tip mouthpieces. If I just very quickly show you my soprano, I don't actually have another one to hand to compare it against, but hopefully there's something. If that's coming through, okay. Can you see the thinness of that tip? And this is a vintage Selmer. I just find with the modern mouthpieces, they tend to be quite a thick tip, and I tend to find that they don't give me the response that I want. So if I play on a more modern soprano mouthpiece, and I better not drop this now, I find that it just feels a bit dead. It doesn't kind of give the reed the response that we want. Minor 2.5s are going to be way too complicated to go on. Let's have a look what else. Mark asked me, what's your favourite ballad? Dinner for One, Please, James. I think that's an absolutely amazing ballad. 2 more questions. 2 more questions. Anybody? Are you a fan of Jody Murphy and Jody Jazz? I've honestly never played them, so I couldn't pass a comment, but I'm sure they're great. But I've tended to go back to more and more vintage mouthpieces myself. And one last question, who's going to dive it in? I know I'm kind of putting you all on the spot here, but we are like 18 minutes in. Kind of thought this would be a good time for the guys in the States, but it doesn't seem to be many people in from the States today. Alan says thin tip mouthpiece is better. Yeah, I'll just concur with that, Alan. It's definitely something that I prefer. And again, setup is such a thing that it's a very open. We're all very, very different on the inside. I've said this on the vlog before, but there was going back to a time when I went back to one of my old teachers, Mike Horton's house. Now, Mike's quite a small chap, and Mike was playing through my setup and was not enjoying it at all. And I played his setup and didn't really like it at all, didn't get the sound that I wanted. Mike found, this was back on my old hard rubber link, he found that quite stuffy at the top end, whereas I found his Gardalas they just felt a little bit like a drain pipe for me. Just, again, but we were thinking about, you know, the size difference between us. You know, I've got probably twice the size of a jaw there from what we're doing on there. Would you swap your Mark VI for your old balanced action? Ooh, would you swap your? No. The 6 has got a more complex sound that I want. The balanced action is amazing, and I would like it back. Hopefully, Bjorn, you're not the guys owning it, and you're going to tell me, and you could come back to it. Worst Xmas song ever. What do you hate to play that everyone requests, and it's a song you say no to? Worst Christmas song ever. I was going to say Last Christmas, but I quite like that. We did a bossa nova version of that in Cambridge years ago. Worst Christmas song ever. Maybe Mistletoe and Wine. Maybe Mistletoe and Wine. Do you have any tips for catching the mood of a song? What would you catching the mood of a song? I think if you're looking at interpreting a song, I definitely say listen to as many different recordings of it as you can. Really come up with a different idea from so many different angles, rather than just listening to 1 or 2 particular versions of it. So yeah, I definitely keep listening to different versions of it. Final question. What's the best modern sax in your opinion? I'm going to not sit on the fence with this one. I'm definitely going to say the updated version of this so far. I really want to do a proper review of it, but the W020, which I think is the bronze version, the new soprano from Yanagisawa. When I played it in Manchester, I was gobsmacked by how good it was as a soprano. Yanagisawa, in my opinion, make the best sopranos anyway, but I like this one, but I kind of was playing it thinking it could get expensive if one ends up coming into the studio. So that was definitely what we were there for. So that's 20 minutes in. That's twice the length of a normal vlog. So thank you very much for watching and tuning in. I really appreciate every single one of you. Let's not move the table again down. I really appreciate every single one of you. If you can make it to the gig in Birmingham tomorrow, you'd be very, very welcome. Make sure you come and say hello. We are back in Cambridge at the Haymakers on the 2nd of December. I'm pleased to say that Rachel Johnson has finished her round the world trip and is coming back to play piano for us. And then on the 16th of December, I'm going to be in London, in Westminster, doing Jazz Carols, a very, very special jazz carol event, jazz songs. So it'd be more than welcome to attend that, and that one is free, so that will be definitely a good idea for you to get down to. And then lots of new dates, as I said, launched in the new year. Check on to the website to find out for more. Thank you, Don. Thanks, Terry. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Tina. Thanks, Pimai, and thanks, Mike. Good to see you all, and everybody else who I've just missed off. I do apologize. Thank you very much for watching. I'm not going to smash the screen at the end of this, otherwise the laptop will go flying across the room, but it's great to see you all. Take care, and I will see you on a vlog, maybe even tomorrow.